everybody. I hope everybody is enjoying summer. I am going to make a delicious summer roasted tart with all fresh vegetables and Parmesan cheese in there. If you want to switch it with Parmesan cheese and do feta cheese or goat cheese, it comes out really good. This is best served room temperature. The first thing we want to do is use all those vegetables. If you can get them from the local farm stand or your garden, anything like that, that would be perfect. So we're going to use some eggplant. Let me just cut up the eggplant. Okay, always make sure it's nice and shiny, nice and heavy for its weight. Okay, no little dings in it, and it's really, really good and fresh. Okay, we're going to leave the skin on this. So we're just going to leave it unpeeled, and we're going to cut it into about 1/4 inch thick slices. Okay, so something just like this. Everything that we're cutting is going to go into one bowl. We're going to toss it with some olive oil, some kosher salt, and some black pepper, and then we're going to roast it. And this is a delicious dish, a side dish, a summer lunch, served with a cold soup. It would be wonderful. So for this recipe, you just need one eggplant. A medium-sized eggplant would be perfect. I like to use a balance of the summer squash and the zucchini, so I'm going to use one of each one. So again, with the summer squash, heavy for its weight, nice in color. If you do get the local ones, it usually has a very shiny skin on there. Sometimes it can be a little tough, so if you need to peel it, you need to peel it. But sometimes they are a little pale, and then it's nice and tender. So I am just going to cut these little ends off right here. And again, cut these into slices. These are 1/4 inch slices. The summer squash and the zucchini. This makes such a beautiful presentation. Little dead spot there, so we're going to cut that out. Okay, put this right into the bowl. Summer, you got to use those beautiful vegetables. Beautiful zucchini, just like this. Again, nice and solid, no little dents in it, no little bruises. Wash and scrub these really, really well. 1/4 inch slices, as best as you can get them. It's so easy when you could take all the vegetables and just roast them in the oven at the same time. And now we're going to take some bell pepper. Definitely got to use some red because it's got to go with that. Okay, so I'm going to take a whole red bell pepper and just take out all these little seeds, any of the white part in here. And then depending on how big it is, you can either cut it into quarters or even into thirds. Okay. It's a nice sized pepper, so I will cut this into thirds. Give that another slice. So quarters. Okay. Put that right in here. Yellow. A little more yellow, I think. No, you know what? Orange. We're missing some orange in here. We need some orange. So I'm going to use an orange pepper. I typically don't use the green peppers for this dish, as the green peppers, it's not a fan of everybody's. You probably get half the crowd that would like it and half that wouldn't. So I tend to go with a little bit more of a sweeter pepper. This is definitely something that you have to make during the summertime. And if all these vegetables don't fit in your tart, well, you have some really good fresh vegetables that are already roasted for your dinner. Okay, so we're going to take some red onion now. Just going to take these ends off of here. Just cut that right in half. Of course, peel it. And then we're just going to slice it. because I want the onions to kind of go throughout. So I'm just going to kind of go like this. And when it's roasting, it will be in between all the other vegetables. And again, another color in here that's going to make this dish really, really stand out. May need a bigger bowl there. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of fresh garlic as well. So about 1 teaspoon of fresh garlic. These are small cloves, so I am just going to give that a little bit of a smash, and then just kind of dice this up. We're going to roast this right with the vegetables. Making this several times, I do prefer this at room temperature, so take out the amount that you would like for your guest. If you think you're going to serve it all, it really does make a beautiful presentation. And this is perfect for vegetarians and for vegetable lovers. Okay, so we are going to put this all in here. That garlic all in. Going to drizzle some extra virgin olive oil on here. A couple tablespoons of the extra virgin olive oil. A couple good fresh grinds of black pepper. And then, of course, some kosher salt. Okay. Gonna put on some gloves and just mix these vegetables up. This is the platter that we're gonna put the tort into in a little bit. I have my trays right here that I'm gonna roast the vegetables. You're probably better off having 2 trays go in. And maybe in about 15 minutes, switch the trays in the oven so this way they get evenly cooked. Okay, seems like the topo is good to cook more. It's getting more of a direct heat. So I'm just gonna toss this around really good. So make sure you have a big enough bowl. I just made it. I couldn't put even a mushroom in here. Whoops, see? So make sure you do have enough. But look at the colors in this. And as you even put this onto the tray, just kind of split it up, and then you can still toss it around, but make sure you separate them so they can all cook nice and evenly. Okay. And if you need a little bit more olive oil, kosher salt, black pepper, anything like that, it will be fine. An eggplant, something like this, if you feel like taking a little brush with a little olive oil, that would work as well. I'm just going to hit it just a little bit more with the oil. The eggplant really seems to absorb the oil very quickly. So when I put my gloves on now, what I'm going to kind of do is just kind of be like a brush. I'm just going to kind of move that oil into the eggplant. So just like that. And now I'm just going to kind of spread these out. While this will be in the 400 oven for about 30 minutes, just until they're nice and tender, but I still want them to have a nice little bite to them, I'm going to grate up some fresh Parmesan cheese. Again, if you want to change it and you want to use feta cheese, goat cheese, fresh mozzarella with this, unbelievable, so good. And that will look perfect. So I am going to stick these into the oven. Okay, I had a few more right here, a little bit of garlic. And we will take these out in 30 minutes. Our vegetables, they roasted for about 30 minutes. I just let them cool so I could handle them without burning the fingers, of course. So I'm just going to take some of the eggplant and layer that around the bottom. And then we're going to put assorted vegetables on top of it for color. And with it, each layer, we're going to put some Parmesan cheese, or the goat cheese, or the mozzarella, or feta, whatever you enjoy. Okay, if you enjoy sun-dried tomatoes, that would be good in this as well. Okay. Okay, kind of comes apart a little bit there. So I'm just going to sprinkle this just with a little bit of salt, a little kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper. I'm going to give this some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Total about a cup's worth will go on the whole dish. Okay, so whatever cheese you do decide, that's what it would be. So with each layer, just grate a little bit more. And now I'm just going to kind of rotate some vegetables for color and taste. That, some squash. And make sure you get in the center as well. And now again, a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, some kosher salt, just a touch of the kosher salt, then fresh grated cheese again. Of course, the more cheese, the better it always tastes. So now that we just have our another cheese layer here, let's put in some different vegetables. Just kind of spread them out, different colors. The red onions, the peppers, the zucchini. And I'm going to save the remaining eggplant for the end, for the top. Get that one. This has so much color and it will be really, really delicious. Okay, get some of those onions in here. And if you like more onions, you like more zucchini, it will work really good. And now let's grate some more cheese and put that on top of here. If you have some Parmesan Reggiano cheese would be great on here. Okay, just a dot of salt again, just each layer. And now I'm going to finish this off with my remaining vegetables. Always try to use those local vegetables, the garden fresh vegetables. And now I'm going to finish it off with the remaining eggplant that I have. And now what you want to do is take something heavy in weight and you're going to put it in the refrigerator to try and get any excess liquid out of this. And what that will do is just kind of shape it into the tort, and you can kind of cut it almost like as if you were cutting a quiche. And now I have a little bit of onion right here as well. So just finish this top off with a little bit more of the Parmesan cheese. And then cut a little piece of parchment paper, just something that won't stick to the vegetables. Kind of fold it up just like this. And now you want something heavy in weight, so find something that's about the same size. This has some weight to it, so I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator just until it gets cool, so it may take about 40 minutes. And then I can just tilt it and pour out any excess liquid. And then I'm going to put it on a serving platter, and when it's room temperature, it'll be ready to serve. So it's as quick as easy as that. So whenever you are doing this dish, make sure you prep all the vegetables ahead of time. Have a big enough bowl. Add all the olive oil, the salt, the pepper to it. Toss it, and then you roast them in the 400 oven for 30 minutes. So we're just going to put this in the refrigerator and get any excess liquid out. So our roasted vegetable tort is completely cooled. It had the heavy weight on here just like this with a little bit of parchment paper. And now what I want to do is drain any excess liquid, and we should definitely get a bunch because the vegetables just seem to keep giving liquid up. So try to squeeze out as much as you possibly can. Now, you could leave it right in here, especially if you don't want to take the chance of messing this up, or you could just go just like this, take a little bit bigger of a platter, and just quickly flip it. Little eggplant needs to go back on. Just kind of tuck this in here. You could make this as high or as low as you want. So if you run a real nice high one, you do about a 4 or 5 inch one. Okay, but this is absolutely beautiful just like this. I'm just going to take my gloves and bring the vegetables all in. Make sure it's completely cooled and then it's room temperature when you go to enjoy this. Just kind of tuck it all up in there, and you just cut it into wedges, and it's ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will make this, and you will love it. Perfect in the summertime. Bye-bye.